Hey, welcome everyone. My name is Rob Rashotte, and I'm the Vice President of Training here at Fortinet. And today I've got with me Preston Strait. Preston's from Secure Retail Networks, and he's going to be talking to me a little bit about career opportunities in cyber, the value of training and certification, and tips for people wanting to maybe get into our industry or maybe evolve in their careers currently in the industry. So it's good to see you, Preston. How are you?
Good to see you too, Rob. Thanks for having me along. Appreciate you taking the time to go over all of this. Yeah, I'm currently the Vice President of Engineering with Secure Retail Networks, and we have definitely been a strong partner of Fortinet for quite some time now. I had a passion for cybersecurity for quite some time myself. Kind of got started back in middle school, high school, actually, kind of getting going with all that. And I got certified very early with Microsoft and Cisco, and decided that Fortinet was definitely a good place to be. So I currently have all of my guys NSE certified at a minimum of a NSE 4, and help them out with all the training that you have available through the NSE Institute, and really appreciate you guys putting all that together and having me on today.
Yes, I know you've been in the industry for quite a long time in cybersecurity in particular and networking as well. Can you tell me a little bit about your path that you've had yourself in terms of getting into the field and then progressing to the position that you're at now?
Yeah, absolutely. So I was actually pretty fortunate to be a part of the Cisco Networking Academy that was being implemented at the high school level. So I started doing some Cisco training then, and basically graduated high school with a Cisco Certified Network Associate, which was a nice jump start into the field. I also got Microsoft certified right after graduating. So 18 years old, had the MCSE and the CCNA, and I've just really kind of jumped straight in. It kind of just launched me into a number of different positions that I've had over the years, and certifications have really kind of been the driving force behind being able to demonstrate my abilities to most of my employers.
Yeah, it's interesting you talk about that path that you've had, and it's actually similar to mine as well in terms of coming out of high school and going directly into the field. I think with something like cybersecurity, we tend to hear a lot of people being under the impression that you need to have an engineering degree, you need to have a computer science program under your belt, and so on. And I know that can sometimes be a little bit intimidating, and I know it's not necessarily the case. Obviously, those credentials and that those professional designations can certainly add a lot of value. But what are your thoughts? I know you've spoken on this before, but it's not always necessarily something that needs to be there. What are your thoughts on that? Are you seeing that change as we evolve to try to close the skills gap?
Well, for the longest time, most universities didn't even have a proper cybersecurity program. They have better curriculum available nowadays, but a lot of the people that I interview that purely have a college degree and don't have any experience in the field or any technical certs really aren't that well set up to be successful. So I think the technical certifications that are more specific from the vendors and whatnot really demonstrate ability more than your typical college degree would.
Mm-hmm. And we're seeing, I mean, there's been various reports, and Fortinet has actually published one of our own reports that looks at, what, hiring managers and so on are looking for when they're hiring into cybersecurity roles and so on. And I know one of the things that we looked at was how hiring managers are looking at certification, and are they really looking at that as they're hiring and filling these roles? And is vendor certification something that you look at when you're hiring or when you're promoting and so on? Has it become part of the official career programs and trajectories and so on?
Yeah, absolutely. And we do actually have a tiered structure within our organization that you have to have so many years experience or certain certification levels to basically be advanced up through the ranks and make it up through the levels there. So yeah, as I mentioned, I mean, I've seen people with the college degrees, and I've got a questionnaire that I typically administer to people as we go through the interview process. And it's always kind of a little bit surprising to me how many of the people that don't have an actual technical certification typically miss a lot of the questions on that questionnaire. Whereas, people that are certified either with Cisco or with Fortinet or Aruba can typically get most of the networking questions right. And so I've found that there's definitely a lot of value with those technical certs.
Right, right. And you know, there's a lot of certifications out there, and I know it can be daunting when people are coming into the industry, you know, new, trying to figure out where they should focus their efforts and so on. One of the questions that often comes up is, you know, vendor certification versus vendor neutral certification, and you know, it's how do you see them comparing against each other? You know, is one better than the other? Do they tend to be complementary? You know, do you look for a mix of both when you're hiring?
Yeah, that's a great question. You know, some of them, especially at a lower level, I think are definitely complementary. You're getting into like a associate level or even professional level certs where you've got you know, networking, basic concepts, protocols, you know, are the same across the board there. So some of that stuff definitely translates. I definitely appreciate what you guys have done with the NSE Institute and some of the generic just lay of the land cybersecurity wise that you have with some of the information that you've got on there. I also love to see the vendor agnostic ones. CISSP is one of the ones that actually is on my list of things to get knocked out. But yeah, we've been very strong Fortinet partners, and so if someone does have a Fortinet certification, that's definitely something in there, a good thing for them.
Hmm. You know, it's good to hear. I mean, it's always our hope that, you know, we're really you know, creating an environment where these certifications are you know, complementary. I mean, we partner with CISSP. You know, we have a lot of interactions with CompTIA and so on. So, you know, the hope is that, you know, we can create this this situation where they are certainly complementary. I do have to ask you though, you know, NSE certifications, you know, we earlier this year we surpassed the 500,000 mark in terms of the number of NSE certifications issued. But I see you're wearing an NSE 8 shirt, and of those 500,000 certifications that we've issued, there's only about 300 NSE 8s in the world. And, you know, this is definitely our premier certification. The NSE 8s, from our perspective, are the, you know, they're the experts of the experts. And we know that it's not a typical certification. It takes a huge commitment. Anything you can talk about there in terms of, you know, why, you know, it takes an extra special effort to go after that and achieve it. Anything you can talk about in terms of why you decided to go after that, and any benefits that you're seeing from it? You know, hopefully with that effort, you're seeing value out of it. But I'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah, absolutely seeing a lot of value there. You know, for me personally, because I didn't go to college, I've been very focused on getting certified and moving up through the ranks that way myself. So I've obtained expert level certifications with other vendors as well, and it's kind of always been my goal for, you know, obtaining those with the partners that we find to be important. So making the NSE 8 happen was definitely something on the radar, and a lot more work than I thought it was going to be initially. Throughout that process, though, it was a tremendous learning experience. Gained a lot of really good information, and not only that, but it's been rewarded throughout the partner program and different events, and just the acknowledgement and recognition out there. It's been the best certification I've achieved throughout my career, actually.
Well, it's great. You know, really happy to hear that you're seeing value out of it. We know it's a really big effort, and you know, we want to see that pool of NSE 8s grow, but we also do know that it's you know, it's an elite group, and you know, we really want to make sure we're putting people through their paces before we issue that credential. So, but glad to hear you're seeing value out of it. You know, I think the NSE program overall, one of the things that I'm proud of at Fortinet is, you know, it's really a program that we're really focused on it, not just as a vendor certification program, but a cybersecurity program, certification program, to really try to close the skills gap. You know, we've launched a lot of initiatives this year around free training to try and do that. So hopefully you're seeing benefit in that and getting your people trained up and certified with as few roadblocks as possible. You know, for people either, you know, entering the field cybersecurity field, or there's obviously a lot of room for growth within the cybersecurity field. Any advice you would give to either of those groups, or the people coming into the field, or people trying to advance their careers? Any advice you give them based on the experiences you've had over your 25 years?
Yeah, I would definitely say that certifications are a great way to get into the field without having to commit the time of a typical 4-year degree. And I really appreciate that you guys have extended your free access to the NSC Institute throughout this year. It was something I directed a lot of people to last year, and I'm continuing to do so. Even from a sales or just complete entry-level perspective, the NSC 1, 2, 3 just gives a great lay of the land and kind of help people figure out what direction they might want to go. And then of course you've got so much content on there now. So there's a lot. It's a huge upgrade from where it began back with the FC-NSA and FC-NSP before that whole program. So yeah, that, and then I kind of steered people a bit towards cloud as well. I think there's so much cloud adoption, so much stuff happening there, that there's a number of free trainings from Microsoft out there if you want to become Azure certified, or do some AWS training as well. And of course, couple it all back together, there's the NSC 7 cloud that you can work on and really focus on cybersecurity in either of those cloud areas.
Yeah, there certainly is an awful lot out there to look at and consider, and it's the first time I've heard someone refer to FC-NSA and FC-NSP in a long time. So that's definitely validation that you've been around for a while. So remember those days fondly. So. It's great to talk to people that have been around and have been partnered with Fortinet for so long, and certainly our NSC 8s are definitely the best of the best from our perspective. So I appreciate you taking the time out of your busy day and giving us some input and talking to us around tips and so on. For any of you out there that are looking at exploring this field or progressing in your careers, or if you're a hiring manager trying to get your arms around how to validate skills and knowledge and so on, I'd encourage you all to check out our website. The Fortinet NSC Training Institute has a wealth of information, and as Preston mentioned, we have extended free access. All of our courses, our catalog of courses, is available free and self-paced format for the rest of this year, and in fact earlier this year we made the commitment to keep it free until we start to see the skills gaps start to reverse and start to close. So it'll stay free for the foreseeable future. So again, thanks a lot for your time, Preston. Certainly appreciate it, and thanks to everyone.